What is up, everyone, and welcome to the round 2 of War of the Roses 2024. This is an old school tournament I had the pleasure of not only playing it but also recording gameplay at. So without further ado, let's dive into the list. Let's start with Carson on a almost fully powered Counterburn list. This deck uses burn spells like Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning and Fireball, as well as efficiently costed aggressive creatures like Flying Men and Serendib Efreet to get that win. The fun thing about this deck is that it seems to have a transformative sideboard into somewhat of a disco troll. You do have the Nevinyrral's discs in the side as well as the Sedge Trolls. The Psychic Purges make a lot of sense, including one in the main, I think, because we have a lot of black-based decks in our local format. The Swamp King is super cool. I imagine that's more of a flavor one of, but is also still just a very powerful card. And yeah, this list just looks like a ton of fun. Can't wait to see how it plays out. And next up we have Jacob on Mono Red Atog. And one of the things I noticed immediately about this is that it is actually unpowered. I'm pretty sure. I made sure to look, but I'm pretty sure it's unpowered, which is super spicy for an Atog list. That definitely requires lots of artifacts to sack and quickly. This list has some pretty spicy one-ofs as well, including some Urza's Glasses, a Sidian Bottle in the main, and some Ox Mishras and Black Vices, which makes sense considering we are in a pack format and you can run 4 strips. Now, I don't see 4 Stone Rains, but there is 3 Blood Nodes in the main, so that helps, I guess, lock the game down as well. Sideboard, nothing too crazy, just some good old sideboard tech. And yeah, this looks like a great prison list that's going to lock down the board until you can swing in for the win with Atog or just deal enough damage with your Vices. So without further ado, let's get into the games. Okay, Carson is going to be on the left and Jacob is going to be on the right. Players having a little discussion about odd even, I'm assuming. Yep, decide who's going to go first, or we're just doing high roll. Looks like we're doing high roll and Carson's going to take it down. Now, I'm not sure which list would prefer to be on the play here. I mean, honestly, being on the play is just a major advantage in most decks. But Jacob's list is not super aggressive, having only 1 creature threat. I think it makes more sense, or advantages Carson more to be on the play, being able to set up that counter magic early. But unfortunately, looks like both players are not going to find a 7 they are comfortable with. Again, this is pack rule set, so 4 strips, 4 Mishras, no point system of any kind, and mana burn is still a thing. Jacob showing off that Spice Award from, I believe it was the Firewalk. I don't think it was the same in the tournament. I'm not fully versed on all the old school tournaments around, but still very cool. I wonder if this is the same list he ran then as well. We did have a Spice Award for this one, for this War of the Roses tournament, which ended up going to a Dune themed deck, which was super sweet. I don't think we got a photo of it on camera or any gameplay of it, which is unfortunate, but it was very fun to see. All the cards were either thematically tied into it or were altered to fit. Alright, and it looks like both players have a keepable 6. And Carson is going to lead off. So Underground Sea and a Flying Man pass. Oh, and we're just going to strip that right away. Oh, and Jacob does actually have some power. Okay.
4 cards take damage.
I think now I'm recalling that when he sent this list, he did mention that his Ruby was not in the deck that he photographed, so that I'm pretty sure is the only change. We will see, but yes, okay, so there is a little bit of power in Jacob's list, which makes the Atog all the better for it. And that Black Flies, unfortunately, is not going to be doing a ton with both players mulling and Carson having to play out his hand because of the strip mine. Get those lands down early. And really just having lots of incentive to play out. And is just going to keep chipping away with that Flying Man.
Or attack, and then pass turn.
And he's going to pass. Alright. Ooh, we got a I missed this one too. I always forget the ball lightning art from the dark. Looks like chain lightning. So there is a definite aggressive side to Jacob's deck. I missed that in the deck tech, but I believe that means there is 4 ball lightnings in the deck as well, in addition to the Atogs. Ooh, and we got a Serendib Efreet coming down.
3 cards.
Just trying to put some more pressure on the board, seeing that maybe this burn deck is going to be a problem. And it does look like Jacob does have some burn magic in hand. All right, here we go. Here's a chain lightning.
Down to 11.
Take 3.
Untap. During my upkeep, this guy's gonna ping me for 1.
And I believe those vices are probably going to come out of the main deck when Jacob sideboards. Yes, Blood Moons can still definitely hurt Carson's list, and he hasn't seen any indication of red magic other than the Volcanic Island.
During my attack.
But I think the potential upside of just getting a little bit of damage with the vices makes sense. All right, we're gonna time walk here. Get an extra turn.
9.
Take a point from the Efreet. Carson doing a good job of holding his cards perfectly vertical so the camera can't pick it up. All right, we're gonna strip the only mountain. Here does have that. I think it's Hammerheim is the name of that one. And just swinging for 4. Down to 9. Both players neck and neck. Interestingly, didn't swing in with either one of the factories, and ooh, we're just gonna bolt to the face. Another Efreet comes out, and there is definitely a clock now on Carson's side. Nope, gonna strip one of the factories. Just counting up here, seeing if he actually should wait. If he doesn't strip it, as the deck stands right now, Carson does have lethal on board, so yes, you probably should hit 1. Alright, gonna untap, take 2.
Down to 4.
And Carson still has a lot of outs here. Any damage spell, I think, clinches it.
Draw. Sorry.
I'm not entirely sure what he drew, but it looks like it might have involved red mana.
Shatter.
Oh, shatter. Okay. And just swinging in 7 down to 2. Pass to you. Do you have an answer or 2 burn spells? There's a fireball, but unfortunately does not have enough mana to make that lethal, and both players having a fireball. So Carson takes down game number 1, having the win in hand. Even before needing to shatter, really, but good magic. And I think actually just giving Jacob a little more info. I'm assuming Counterburn is a very well-known deck to everyone but me. I definitely have watched a lot of old school coverage, so I'm sort of familiar with it, but I wouldn't have guessed Counterburn just off of the Flying Man, but perhaps Jacob already has, which could be a reason to take out the Blood Moons in sideboarding. I definitely would take out the Vices. I don't think those are going to do much past turn 1. Blood Moon still could mess with mana a little bit, but when your opponent's pretty heavy into red, may not be the best thing. Instead, bring in some more burn spells or some more threats.
We're good.
All right, Jacob's going to lead off with a mountain into a soul ring and pass. Very classic Teden altar, but still one of my favorites. And we just had a factory pass from Carson, which is not the most exciting. It does make you wonder, okay, we got a mana vault coming down. Strip. for an Ankh. And Jacob with all the mana up now. And gonna try and put the screws to Carson in the mana department. Having that strip played out already is very good. Ideally, it looks like he'll want at least one more red source, because I think there is a ball lightning in hand. Carson deciding if he wants to play out that island is going to take the 2. And is going to animate to try and swing it in, and that is a dangerous game. That gets bolted and passed. I don't know if I would have risked the factory there. With red open and a strip mine open, you're really risking land. So you must have a very land heavy hand. I see at least one island. Maybe another dual. Underground sea. No, volcanic island. Okay. That makes sense. Gonna take 2 off of that as well. It does have a mock, so is at least able to do something. Another strip coming down. Taking 2. And then a chain lightning. Can't pay for it. And we'll see if Carson has any more land in hand. He does have that island. Oh, he drew another volcanic island. Very nice. Keeping blue up.
Lay of the land. Pass turn.
And pass. Alright, Jacob's going to play out some lands. Choosing to not cast the ball lightning. He might even have 2 in hand. I'm not entirely sure. But with the 2 blue up, or with the 1 blue up, sorry, not wanting to walk into any kind of counter magic, or even just a bolt. And is just going to draw and pass back to Carson. Really slowing things down now. Carson is at 9. He's going to take 2, go to 7. That puts him in the danger zone, I think. The question is, do you play anything out here? We're tapping all the way down. What are we going to see? A disc. Okay. Carson opting to go for the Troll Disco transformative sideboard here. And is going to get punished. Yep, down to 1 from the ball. And dead to pretty much anything. Drew another disc. Looks like he does have a counter spell, or is that a power sink? I think it's a counter spell in hand. A little tough to tell. So it does have some counter magic. There is no red open right now. It's just going to opt to pass the turn. And Jacob is just going to pass it right back after drawing a card. A red elemental blast is an interesting include. Maybe Carson not reading Jacob's deck entirely correctly here. That does seem like a very weird card to bring in sideboard. Maybe thinking he was in some kind of mirror match. Alright, we got some sort of threat on the table now for Jacob, in addition to his Ankh. Really just holding in that disc as a loaded gun. A lot of passing going back and forth. There is going to be a counter war happening at some point. But instead, we're first going to just try and swing in for the win with the factory. It is lethal. You are going to have to bolt it. Or hit the disc. And now you are free to play as many lands as you like. And Jacob is just going to pass. Alright. Let's draw a couple cards here. Is that 2 chain lightnings? Very dangerous into an opponent with 3 red mana open. But this is the time where you do have to kind of get aggressive. obviously holding some kind of counter magic up, but you have to play down a threat.
You can send these back.
And I'm sure he's wishing more than anything that that red elemental blast was a blue elemental blast. All right. Oh, it's just gonna pass the turn and discard 2 cards. All right. Ball lightning. Do you have a response? Counterspell. Okay, that was a counterspell.
Bolt for 1.
Second main chain.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's gonna do it. Game 2 going to Jacob. Smart play from Jacob, just waiting until he had 2 threats that he could play out in a single turn, bypassing any kind of counter magic that Carson could have with just 3 mana open. And Carson going to be on the play again, which I do think is going to be very much to his benefit. I don't know if that's a keepable hand, though. There is some Mox and an Orb.
All right, ready?
Yep. As ready as I'm going to be.
Okay.
And actually, no, he's going to keep. All right, we're just going to lead off with a Strip and a Mox.
There we go.
And play out the Orb. And just land go from Jacob, giving him a reasonable Strip option. We're probably going to be holding out for a Factory. And interestingly, Carson not playing any kind of colored mana is going to strip the Hammerheim. And Mountain go. Ooh, there is an Atog, at least one Atog in Jacob's hand now. We have not seen that yet these games. And a Swamp coming down
I'll be aggressive with you, man.
for Carson. Important to have that black mana, I guess, for the
Do I activate it?
Sedge Troll regenerate ability.
Activate.
Is going to animate his Factory, move to combat, swing for 2, no response.
Wasn't so painful.
The Factory survives.
Okay.
Very surprising. I think Carson was very surprised that that stuck around. And Jacob just going to play out his own Factory and pass. Alright, Badlands coming down.
Scariness here. Activate.
Let's go for 2 swings. And this time, a Shatter is going to be enough, unfortunately. Carson can't get lucky twice, but is just going to pass with 2 up. And a well-timed strip for that Badlands.
So attack for mana.
Floating some mana and is going to try and orb the Factory. And hits. That is a good orb. Alright, Badlands dies.
Pass turn.
And looks like there's going to be a pass from Jacob and going back to Carson's turn.
Badlands out there. Pass.
Pass.
Yes.
Looking like he's hurting a little bit on mana right now. Doesn't have any red. And yeah, just going to pass. And then Jacob is going to go to his turn and strip.
Yes.
That is 2 strips or 3 for him.
Down.
And bolt you and pass the turn. Both players missing a lot of mana. Unfortunately, Carson is definitely mana screwed at this point. Jacob out hitting his land drops and is going to play out the Orb. Really cool altar on that, by the way. Love that.
No, it's Chaos Orb, but I was saying you can crumble it.
Yeah.
And Carson, I think, still not finding any lands or any Mox and is just going to have to pass.
Obliterate.
Not a good sign for him. Very good sign for Jacob, though, in this game 3. The real question is, how aggressive do you get?
Atog.
Bring out the Atog. And pass.
Okay, here we go.
We haven't seen a ton of artifacts from Jacob this turn, or this game. So there are still a lot in the list. Ooh, pitching a mana leak. And Jacob basically just having the run of this game. Nothing standing in the way.
This is 1-1, right?
Just taking one.
Last turn.
Or a couple, I guess.
This is scary. What do I keep?
And I think Carson still did not find a land. And is just deciding what he wants to get rid of. Yes, unfortunately, Psychic Purge hid in the graveyard.
So much.
And turns out Jacob did not take out the Vices, and I am proven wrong. They're going to be very good here. As long as Carson keeps missing those land drops, he is going to be in a world of hurt. Taking 2.
Pass turn.
Pass to you. Did you find a land?
3.
So relatively thick.
Oh, yep. Remembering to take damage from the Vice. That did not look like a land. Pitching a Chain Lightning and pass.
Oh my goodness, this is getting bad now.
Ooh, is that another Vice? It is. And the clock just got a lot faster.
2. So
Swinging in.
comes down to 9.
Just one.
Just gonna take 2.
Okay.
Or 1. Is it 1? Yeah.
Activate orb.
Okay.
Alright. Jacob trying to slam the door shut here. Orbin the Emerald and pass.
6. So that would be down to 4.
Down to 4. Dead next turn unless he has a lightning bolt and can draw a mountain. That's probably not going to do it. I mean, is it? He can Psionic Blast or whatever. That was going to draw 3. Okay. Not totally out yet. Oh, gonna bolt you real quick. Take you to 1. As Underground Sea, I don't know. Oh, no, there is a blue elemental blast there. Does it hit? It does.
I believe that's
That's still not going to be enough cards out of hand, though. And I think Carson is just dead on the... Well, doesn't even need to wait for that. Just going to Chain Lightning, and that is going to be game number 3. Jacob takes it down in a very cool finish for Mono Red Atog. Congrats again to both players. That was some awesome magic, and congrats to Jacob for winning on camera, which can be a bit more daunting than I think people realize. So that is just round 2. We have 4 more rounds of Old School. We didn't actually have a cut to top 8. It was just Swiss best of 6, but we're going to be bringing you plenty more over the coming weeks. And don't worry, if you're here for pre-modern, that's not going anywhere either. There's going to be at least 1 pre-modern video a week, as well as we get caught up and try to get to next month's tournament, because surprise, there's going to be more pre-modern content, and I think the next tournament is going to be on us before I even get through this month. So thanks again to everyone for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like this video, or if you just like good old school magic in general. If you've liked, subscribed, and done everything else that you feel like you're able to do, but you want to still do more, I do have a Patreon linked in the video description below. Treating it mostly as a tip jar, as a way to upgrade equipment and travel and do events like this, which are a little bit outside the ordinary monthly tournaments I've been doing in the past. Again, not totally required, just a fun way to help out if you guys have been appreciating all the content I've been making over these last few months. And yeah, I will see you all next time.